Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So inshallah we'll start. I think it's going to take us a couple of weeks to get back on regular. Some couple of apologies here. Brother Fawad, not Brother Fawad, Brother Abrar is traveling, so he couldn't make it. Brother Afzal is also not available. I'm not sure about Brother Javed, but he might join in a little bit. Okay. So inshallah, I have done some work, and are you able to see my screen, the computer screen?
Yes, but it's upside down.
The camera? Okay, good. I'll fix it. Okay. Come on. Okay.
Ubayy, there is no recording for the previous class?
There is, but I didn't get a chance to upload it yet.
Okay.
Inshallah. But since that meeting was mostly, we were just talking, so I thought maybe today I'm going to repeat everything I said on that day and in more detail. So inshallah, this will be a better class to upload in the cloud. Inshallah. Okay. So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem. So the ayah we are dealing with is yakadul barku yakhtafu absarahum. Okay. So we did some analysis last time. So I want to take it to the next level. So first of all, we know that yakadu is a verb.
Yeah.
Everybody agree on that?
Yes.
So it's a verb. So if there is a verb, we need to find a file. And in this case, the file is a noun, al-barku, the lightning, and yakadu mean almost. So almost the lightning. Yakhtafu is another verb, and it is the first sigha. So there has to be a file. And since we do not find a rafa after it, so we find the hidden huwa here. And that is the file, and it's the zamir. So far, so good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and absarahum is their eyesight or their sight. Yakhtafu mean snatches. So the lightning is about to snatch their eyesight. Okay, so in this case, yakhtafu is the fail, and huwa is the file. Absaruhum is the mudaf ilay, which is the maful bihi. Is that making sense? So file plus fail plus file plus maful is a verbal sentence. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is so special about this yakadu? We started talking about it, and we need to understand it. It is a special kind of fail. And why? Let's first of all look at the root words. So the root words are kaf, dal, waw.
Wow.
Okay, and it is from the bab fataha. So fataha yaftahu. If you are, and now there is a waw. What is a waw?
Harfiyata.
Weak letter. Yes,
Oh, sorry. Week later, yeah.
it's a weak letter. So we have a situation that when we have a weak letter, we have to substitute them among the other two letters, alif and ya. So there are three weak letters, alif, waw, and ya. And whenever you come across waw, then the rule is, if I have to follow the rule, the fataha for kaf, dal, waw will be kawada. Agree?
Yes.
So fataha, kawada. But we have kada, not kawada. Is kawada sounds good in saying kawada?
No.
No. It's the same idea. We say qala yakulu,
Yaqulu.
but it was kawala.
Qawala.
Remember, we have gone over it several times. So you have to understand that because of the weak letter, you don't say kawada, you replace the waw with the alif and you say kada. So kada is mazi,
Yes.
right? And what is the mudare?
Yakadu.
Yakadu. So mazi and mudare. What do we see here?
Mudari.
So we see mudare. Okay. So let's understand the meaning of this. I have written it in mostly in Urdu because currently my audience is Urdu. So kada means that we are close to doing some action, but we did not do. Okay, we're trying to explain to you last time also that, let's say I give you an example. I'm in a situation where I was so close to losing my temper, but I did not. Is that example making sense?
Yes.
Okay. So in the positive sense, like when in a normal, when there is no nafi, when there is no harfi nafi, it's a positive sentence. That means a person or a thing was about to do an action. It was very close to performing an action, but they did not end up doing it. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Brother Altaf and Brother Kabir, I need some feedback so you can pitch in, say something.
Sure, sure.
I know you guys are listening and writing, but I
Yeah,
need some.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are close to doing something, but we did not do that. But however, if there is a harf nafi, meaning if it's a negative sentence, then that means you are not close to doing an action, but you end up doing it. For example, I can give you an example that I was not going to have dinner by end up eating food. Okay, so I was not going to do it, but I end up doing it. Now from the Quran, if I give you an example, refresh your memory in Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Bani Israel to cut the cow. So what they used to do, they had the love of the cow in their heart because of that incident which happened where they made the cow out of gold and they started worshiping it. Remember?
Yeah.
So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them to cut the cow, it was a test for them, and they made all kind of excuses. Yes. But towards the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَزَبُوهَا وَمَا كَادُوا يَفْعَلُونَ. Meaning, फिर उन लोगों ने ज़िबा किया इस गाय को और लगता नहीं था कि वो करेंगे. So they were like they were very close to doing it, but looks like they didn't want it to do it. No, this is the second one, because they were not going to do it, काम ना करने के करीब होना, but they did it. You making sense? Okay, then the second one is takadu samawatu yatafattarna min or minhu. करीब है कि आसमान फट पड़े इससे. So this is more like number one, that it is about to happen, but it didn't. So are you trying to understand what is the context of this takadu in these sentences? The rest of the people?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So keep in mind that next time when you come across yakadu or takadu and then a failure mudari, because takadu is you. It's like the second person, right?
Yeah.
Takadu samawatu. So that is what the two things you remember, that something is about to do an action, but they didn't do it. If it's a negative, because here is a negative, wamakadu. You see that? So basically, this is the example number 2, and this is example number 1. Yeah? Question? Okay.
This is only for Yakadu, yeah?
Yes, yakadu.
Yakadu and Takadu.
Yes. So because takadu is another form of this failure mudare. The only thing, the thing we change from yakadu to takadu is the third person to second person.
Yeah, but it was like the main verbal Yakadu.
Yes, because you have to follow that. The name, the asal fail is kaf dal waw.
Yeah.
And because of the rule of the Greek letters, it becomes kada yakadu. It could be akadu, I did it. I was about to do something. Yakadu, they did. Takadu, you did. Like you were going to do something. You were close to doing something. Okay. So the other thing you need to understand about this takadu or kadu It is known as kadu or kada wa akhawatuha. Okay, remember that we used to have called inna
Inna. Akhwatuha.
akhawatuha,
Akhwatuha.
right? So this is something similar to this kind of category. And how many we had in there? We had like 5, I guess,
Right.
right?
Right.
So kada wa akhawatuha, they are known as afal muqariba. What are they known as?
Af'al muqariba.
Muqaraba. Muqaraba is from Kareeb. Kareeb means near, right? But what is the meaning we're getting from Kadu? That something is almost about to happen.
Right.
Yes. So that is why they're known as Muqaraba.
So what else are other than Qadu?
Yes, I'm going to tell you about that.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you. So if we need to understand these af'al, first of all, they are fail naqis. What are
Right.
they? Fail naqis. Fail naqis mean defective fail. If I give an example name, English name, we're going to call it defective verb. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if I try to explain to you what a fail naqis is, you have to understand fail tam. What is fail tam?
Complete sentence.
Complete sentence.
That was murakkab tam, right? That was complete sentence,
Okay.
right? Don't confuse that. So complete sentence was murakkab tam, which is known as jumla, right? And there was murakkab,
Naqis.
Naqis.
and those were the phrases.
We only know those. I think
Yes,
fail naqis or fail tam have we read before or studied before?
yes, it's the same idea.
Mhm.
In the murakkab tam, the meaning is complete. Is a complete sentence. Yes,
Yes.
complete
Sentence.
and incomplete. Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. So apply the same rule. When there is a fail tam, that means with this fail and file, you're gonna get a complete meaning out of it.
Okay.
For example, if I say zahaba, zahaba is an example of fail tam. That
Event.
means wo gaya, meaning he went. Now you are no longer in curiosity that where he went. When he said he went, at least we know that he's gone.
Yeah.
Yes. So the meaning
Yes.
is the money or the you understood it right away. Zahaba is fail tam example.
Right.
Everybody with that?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
kana, we talked about it. Kana mean wo tha, meaning he was. Now there is a big question mark. He was what? Yes.
Yeah.
So that means the meaning of this sentence is not complete yet. Mani mukammal nahi hai. Even if I say kana zaidun, zaid tha or zaid was, then again you are curious what was zaid. Making sense?
Yes.
However, if I say kana Allahu ghafur rahima, then I know that Allah is the ism. Yes?
Yeah.
That
Mubtada.
Allah was, but when we use kana for Allah, we don't say was. We say Allah is ghafur and rahim. So ghafur is khabar 1 and rahim is khabar 2. Allah is mubtada. Yes?
So sorry, do we need to say kana here?
Yes. Kana is that Allah is ghafur rahim. Okay? There are things like this. You know how you say inna?
Yeah.
You have to
So
add inna, right? So kana, I'm trying to give you an example that now when you completed it like this, it is a complete sentence, because if you say kana Allahu, then that was incomplete.
Right.
Allah is what? Ghafur Rahim.
Okay.
Got it? So in these situations, what we say that because of kana, because the same idea inna and akhwatuha, when we use inna in the beginning, then Allah is become the ismu kana and Ghafurur Rahima become the khabar kana. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we have understood so far, then what are fail and naqisa? Fail and naqisa are the word or the fails which do not give you a complete meaning with their file. Okay, and I give you example. Zahaba is a fail tam and fail naqisa is an example of kana. Now, if fail muqaraba is also fail naqis, why do we need a separate group for this? The question is this: why can't we just keep them in the same group as other fail naqisa? Do you see the question?
Yeah.
Right? You would say that if this afal muqaraba is the same as fail naqisa, then
What's the difference?
why we give them their separate group? Because there are certain qualities of afal muqaraba which makes them a different group. For example, first of all, they are fail naqis. Second thing is, when they are in a jumla ismiya, they give rafa to the ism. What does inna give to the mubtada? What does he change it into? When you have inna, what happened to mubtada? What status it goes into?
Mubtada inna.
Rough.
No. Mubtada is always rafa, correct?
Yeah.
But the moment you put inna in front of it, does it stay mubtada or it becomes ismu inna?
Ismu inna.
If it becomes ismu inna, then what happened to the status of ismu inna?
Nasab.
Nasab. So why this group is different? Because it doesn't give nasab to his ism. It keeps it in rafa. Okay.
So
Making sense?
it's not nasab, it's become rafa.
Because look, if you look at the look at this, yakadu al-barku.
Barku is, yeah.
If there was
Sabqa.
inna, it will be
Innal barka.
not
Barka.
in al-barka.
Barka. Yeah.
It will be innal yakadul barka, I think, because
Yeah. Barka.
because it will
Barka.
become a nasab. So this is why it is a special kind of group, because it says in the jumla ismiya situation, it gives the ism to rafa and khabar nasab, which is identical to regular jumla ismiya, because we know that no, in jumla ismiya both khabar and rafa is both mubtada and khabar are rafa, not
Rafa.
nasab.
So,
Right?
so brother Abid, this is true for fail naqis. We are not
This
saying
is-
this is for a fale mukarba.
No. This second one is because see, as I said, it is one of the condition or one of the qualities that it is a fail and naqisa. But when you look at the second quality, because of these second or third quality, they have to be in a different group by itself.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then there is a wajah, the khabar has to be jumla failiya. So if you look at this information, you see, yakadul barku. Is barku noun? Yes.
Yes.
And it's a file and it is rafa. Yes, it is
Yes.
rafa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now look at the khabar, because this is ismu yakad, right? Now if you look at the bigger picture, this first sentence is ismu yakad. Can you
Yeah.
guys see
Yeah.
ismu yakad? If the khabar yakad is this big sentence, which is a verbal sentence, yes? Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, is this verbal sentence madi or mudare?
This is mudari.
Mudare, right? So it says that it has to be a jumla failiya and the fail should be mudare, yes? And zamir, it has to point back to this mudare. For example, look at this. Yakadul barku, yes? The what is the file here? The lightning. Yakhtafu absarahum. What is the file here?
Huwa.
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 Is huwa singular?
Yes.
Al-Barku singular?
Yes.
Yeah.
Al-Barku male?
Yes.
Yes. Huwa male?
Yes.
So it points back to this. This yakhtafu, which is the fi'l mudare, and it's a verbal sentence, a jumla fi'liya. That is how this is a fi'l muqaraba here, because of this yakadu. Okay, making sense?
Yes.
Try to capture this concept. Okay. So the other three, which are also afal muqaraba, is gada is one of them, awshaka and karaba.
Aushaka. What
Awshaka.
Aushaka means?
Awshaka, I don't know the meaning, but it has to do something with the doubt, you know, when you have a doubt, shak, right? So kada, awshaka, karaba. Now they had additional details about these three, but for this lecture, I thought that there is already so much material. I just want to keep it to up to these few things.
Brother Abid, what's the number two? Ism, number two. After
Which one?
earlier, that's the ism.
Kada is number one. Awshaka. Awshaka.
No, just above that, the number one and then number two.
This one?
Yes.
Iska fail bhi mudare ho.
Okay.
Okay, mudare mean, look at this. This is mudare. This is mudare. And it is a verbal sentence, so it's a jumla failiya. The khabar has to be jumla failiya. See that the khabar is supposed to be jumla failiya. See,
So,
over here,
this, sorry.
Rahima is not a jumla failiya. It is ism khabar one, ism two, khabar two. Yes, brother Altaf.
So this karaba is kaf, different kaf, right?
This karaba is like this.
Okay. Karaba. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the meaning?
You know, as I said, I did not look into it,
Okay.
but I can find out for you. So I thought that I don't want to go over these, but I just wanted to give
So
you a
at
list.
least it will be good. At least we can see what the high level
Inshallah.
meaning is. So
Yeah, I will try to find it for you. Okay, so let's do a quick review. In this verse, there is a word used, yakadu. Yakadu is a fail. It's a special kind of fail, and it has a group of its own, and they're known as fail muqariba. Okay, and like the other of all we have looked at, like inna wa akhwatuha and kana, yakadu is in a separate group because it has certain qualities. And we looked at those qualities. First of all, we looked at that is a fail naqis. Then we try to understand what a fail naqis is. Fail naqis is the opposite of fail tam. Fail tam is when you have a complete meaning when it is used, and the example is zahaba. In zahaba, you're not wondering too much. He gone, you know that he's gone. But when you say kana is an example of fail naqis, then you understand that if I say he was, that doesn't give you a complete meaning. You're always curious, he was what? Yes? And then I also give an example that when these kind of fail naqis are used with a jumla ismiya, what they do, they change the mubtada into ism. And ismu kana and ismu khabru kana. So khabar one, khabar two. Here, the khabar of fail muqaraba has to be a jumla failiya. Yeah.
right.
And if you look at it, that's why I said yakhtafu absarahum is jumla failiya. So this part is, you know that we have done this several times, so we know what this is. Yakhtafu, huwa is hidden file, absarahum is mudaf ilayh, and it's maful bihi. So we have fail, we have file, we have maful bihi. It's a pure recipe for a jumla failiya, and they are both mudare, not madi. And that was one of the condition. And in the khabar, the zamir is pointing to the ism, right? And the ism has to be in rafa. Okay. So again, and the other thing was that what is the meaning of it? When it is positive, that something or someone was about to do something, but they did not do it. Like you could do it, or you were about to do it, but you did not do it. And the opposite is you didn't want it to do it, but you end up doing it. Okay, so that's why from the Quran, فَذَبُوهَا وَمَا كَادُوا يَفْعَلُونَ, this wama is harf nafi. That they did slaughter the cow, but in their heart they were not going to do it. They only did it out of compulsion from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So you have to bring the context in your mind why they were not going to do it, because they, in the previous incident, they took the Baqarah as one of the gods, and they fall trap to the Samiri, and some of the people still had the love of the Baqarah in their heart. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them by saying, slaughter a cow, they made a lot of excuses before they did it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that they did it, but technically they were not going to do it. You see my point, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you understand that, right? Because I'm not telling you something you don't know. So similarly, the takadu samawatu yatafattarna min, that kareeb hai ke asman phat pade. So in this sentence is saying almost the lightning is about to snatch their eyesight. So it's yakadu. It is about to. It is very close. The lightning could take their eyesight in a split second. So before you understand the meaning, let's look at the yakhtafu. Any question before I move on?
So one question on this one, Brother Abid. Yakadu here, the way it's Yakadul Barko Yaktafu Absar, it's almost means that over here it's kind of lightning. It's not that it was lightning. So is it not a resemblance?
No. Like the lightning, how do I explain? Let's take a look at okay, so look at here.
Like almost the lightning means kind
Yes.
of lightning or something.
The lightning is lightning, right? Because you have to keep in mind the previous verse. We said that there was a thunderstorm. Remember the previous verse?
Yeah.
There was a thunderstorm, and the thunderstorm has the lightning, darkness, and a bunch of other things. There is a loud thunder. So they were already scared to death because of that. Because if you found yourself in the open and in this kind of scenario, you'll be scared because there are incident where the lightning can fall on you and you can die. Correct?
Yeah.
The lightning can strike, right?
This almost means that it's very possible, right?
Yes, or it was very close. It was very close that the lightning could. अभी जब हमने पढ़ा कि काम करने के करीब होना, right?
Correct.
So the lightning is so close to taking their eyesight, but it didn't. Or so far the meaning is, because it's not a negative sentence, so we're gonna go take example number 1, that if the lightning is so close to doing it, but it didn't happen yet.
उर्दू में तो हम इसका तर्जुमा करीब है करते हैं ना, ये गादू करीब है.
हाँ, देख लेते हैं, उर्दू में भी देख लेते हैं इसका तर्जुमा. Okay, so if I go and I do translation, and if I say give me Urdu, apply, let's see. Okay. करीब है कि बिजली की चमक इनकी आंखों की बसीरत को उचक ले जाए. ठीक है? So करीब है is like almost.
Almost.
Yes. So I was saying that, let me explain to you the yakhtafa, and then that will also help you understand the meaning. So yakhtafa is kha, ta, fa. The root words are kha, ta, and fa, and the bab samiya. So samiya yasma'u, khatifa yakhtafu. Okay, and the masdar is khatfan. Okay, the meaning of khatafa is uchak lena. In English, we will say snatch. Yeah. So if you look at the fail muqariba with the rules of fail muqariba, yaqadu is fail, and al-barku is ism and is rafa, and this section is ism yaqad, and yakhtafu huwa absaruhum is jumla failiya, and is the khabar yaqad. And what is the meaning? करीब है कि बिजली इनकी निगाहों को उचक ले. Yes. So the ism is rafa, the khabar is jumla failiya mudare, and there is a zamir of huwa which points back to al-barqa. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Brother Fawad?
Yes, yeah.
Sister Fazilat, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So try to get to the meaning of it, that what he's trying to do. The next time when you come across yakadu or aushaka or karaba, right away in your mind you should think of fail muqariba. And fail muqariba, there are two situations that something is about to do but they didn't, or they were very close to doing it and they did not, or when he said negative, then they were not going, they were close to not doing it but they end up doing it. Yeah. Okay. And then these three things that it makes the ism rafa, and it is ism yakad and khabar yakad. So this part should be pretty straightforward, that why is ism yakad and is khabar yakad, because we have learned the jumla ismiya so many times. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of time.
Okay. So those are old concepts. So the next verse is kullama adaa lahum mashawfi. Okay. So if you look at the meaning of this, kullama is whenever, adaa is it flashes, lahum for them, mashawfi they walk in it. Okay, what did that means? When it is dark and you are traveling or you are trapped in the darkness, if the lightning comes, for that split second, the lightning will show you the path. So what are you going to do? You're going to probably walk in it, correct?
Right.
Yes. And as soon as the lightning goes away and you don't know what is ahead of you, you are going to stop. Right? Think in the context of this scenario. Don't think in a normal way. Think that if you are stuck in a situation like this, there is a thunderstorm, you could not see the path. When the lightning comes, you see the light and you can see the few things a few inches ahead of you. You walk, and as soon as the lightning finishes, it's dark again, pitch dark. You don't know what to do, so you stand still. Yeah.
Is the meaning here that lightning gives you to look for some path and you walk using that visual you got in the lightning?
Okay. So what I'm thinking about this, that since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving a parable of a thunderstorm, right? I'm putting myself in the thunderstorm scenario, that yes, the lightning is so bright, or some, because we are scared of the lightning. If I'm in the open, the lightning can hit me. Do we agree on that? That lightning can hit a person or a tree or a house or a pole, and people have died because of that, right?
Yeah.
So, and when there is a situation like this and you are in a path which is not known to you, it could be very tricky path. So you can only walk comfortably if you can see. And that is when the light flashes, the lightning flashes, you see a little bit of light and you can see maybe a little bit of road ahead of you. So you try to walk, and as soon as the light goes away, you don't know what is ahead of you, so you stop, stand still. So think like that, right? So going back to the analysis of this, let's look at adaa. Adaa is a fi'l madi. Yes?
Yeah.
Fi'l madi, that means this is first sigha. So we know there is a huwa here. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is verb and huwa is the file. Is lahum jar majroor?
La is jar. Yeah. Hum is majroor.
Yeah, so jar majroor, right? Jar majroor in a verbal sentence is called mutalliq, correct? Mutalliq fail. These are previous concept. This is not new, right? So what happens? Fail plus file plus mutalliq becomes verbal sentence.
Yes.
Right.
Similarly, mashaw fi. Mashaw is mean, sheen, ya. Is from bab daraba. Mashiya or mashaya or I think it's bab daraba. Mashaya yamshi'u. Mashyan meaning chalna.
Walk.
अरबी में कहते हैं ना माशी माशी, go away, walk. Okay, and kullama is the combination of kul plus ma. Yes. And remember in Ramadan or previous Ramadan we talked about in detail about shart and jawab shart.
Right.
Right. So kullama is also one of those keywords which starts like iza. Remember iza? Iza was one of them. So kullama, whenever, that makes it shartiya, right? So whenever ada lahum, whenever there is a light flashes for them, they walk in it. Mashofi, they walk in it. So it is the jawab shart. So this kullama is the starting of the shart. And what happens to the jawab shart? Usually it's a verbal sentence, correct?
What is the individual meaning of kulla? All?
Kul is
So,
all, right?
all.
Yeah, but
And
when
ma
you
is
use kullama, it means whenever. Okay, that's what the translation they're doing right here. Let's take a look at the Urdu translation. Okay, so they say करीब है कि बिजली की चमक इनकी आंखों की बसारत को उचक ले जाए। जब बिजली चमकती और इन पर रोशनी डालती है तो इसमें चल पड़ते हैं, और जब अंधेरा हो जाता है तो खड़े के खड़े रह जाते हैं, और अगर अल्लाह चाहता तो इनके कानों की सुनवाई और आंखों की बिनाई दोनों जाहिल कर देता। मीनिंग वलौ शा अल्लाहु, if Allah willed, la zahaba, surely, there la here is for
sure.
taqid. Yes, la zahaba bisamihim, their hearing, wa absarihim, their sight.
That's right.
Right? So at least they have some lightning. So when the light, their eyesight and their hearing is still intact, that's why when the lightning shows up or when the lightning flashes, they can walk and they can stop when it's dark. But if Allah had willed, He could have taken their sight and their hearing altogether. Why? Because indeed Allah is all controlling over everything. Is all powerful over everything. Why? Because Allah, beshak Allah hi har cheez par qadir hai. Right? So we can look at the tafsir of this, but this is a parable. Parable means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to give an example based on a natural phenomenon. The natural phenomenon of a thunderstorm in which there is lightning, there is thunder, and there is darkness. Yes? So imagine these people, what they used to do. When things were in their favor, they don't mind going along with the Muslims. Agree? Yes, right? When they feel that the things are in their favor, they didn't mind becoming normal. But as soon as they are dealt with a test or some hardship, they start to show their true colors and try to run away. Yes. But since Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was still among them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intended good for them, that maybe they will have a true change of heart. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was keep giving them chances or time or a break, that okay, maybe, and some of those did turn around and become good Muslims. Yeah, because for a long time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not reveal their names, or at some point in time He told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that who is a munafiq and who is not a munafiq. Remember? So, and there was one Sahabi, I don't know his name. He was the secret. He was the secret keeper of Rasulullah, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after knowing the names of the munafiqeen of Medina, he informed him. And guess what happened? Hazrat Umar, the likes of Hazrat Umar, try to find out from him, this Sahabi. He said, hey, you know me. Can you tell me is my name in there? See the level of Iman of Hadrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala. He was so worried that he never thought that since he's close to Rasulullah and he's such a good companion, he always he always doubted his intention. He said, can you please tell me in confidence, is my name among the list of those munafiqeen? So think about us. Where do we stand? Now, and then what happened? One sign or symbol become, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that if there is a janaza for a munafiq, you're not going to lead it and you're not going to go to the qabr. You know that? Have you read those verses in the Quran?
Yes.
Guys? So then after that, whenever Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said no to a janaza, people used to guess that, oh, because he's a munafiq. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never openly announced the name. He kept the parda, he kept that in the dark. But now people could guess that if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam denied praying janazah on somebody, it most likely because he's a munafiq, because Allah ordered him not to do that. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my interpretation of this, but as I said, you need to get your information from scholars, and this tafsir from is Ibn Kathir. So I'm sure that you will find a lot of good information here. So since we have like 7 minutes, maybe I can help you find that. So the example of the hypocrites. So from here is starting, Zahaballahu binurihim wa tarakahum fi zulumat la yubsirun summum bukmun umyun. These are all the characteristics we have seen in the previous verses, right? So aw kasayyibin minas samai fihi. This is the example of what we looked at. This is verse number 19 and this is verse number 2. Yeah. So now let's see. So verily it is not the eyes that grow blind, right? But it is the hearts which are in the breast that grow blind. Meaning, I can be literally physically able to see things and hear things, but if my heart goes dead, do you think any guidance will seep into my heart? I will be acting like as if I'm a blind person because I'm not taking that guidance to my heart. And this is why they cannot get back to the state of guidance that they were in, since they sold it for misguidance. And we know that, right? In the previous verse, what they did, they sold they bought the misguidance in exchange for guidance. So what else? Or like a rainstorm in the sky, bringing darkness, thunder, and lightning, they thrust their fingers in their ears to keep out of the stunning thunderclap for fear of death. But Allah ever encompasses the disbeliever. Then the second one, the lightning almost snatches away their sight. Whenever it flashes for them, they walk therein, and when the darkness covers them, they stand still. And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. Certainly, Allah has power over all things. Making sense? So another parable, again, there is coming in the next verse, Kasayyibim zulumat wa ra'dun wa barq, or something like that. We can look at that next time. Now, we did not get a chance to finish everything yet, but let's quickly look at the verse. So kullama is the shart, ada'a lahum, or ada'a lahum is the fa'il and the jar majroor, which is mutalik. It's a verbal sentence. And mashaw fi, then this is again fa'il, and the what is the noun here, hidden noun here? Mashaw.
They.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Home. Right? So home is here. Fihi is again jar majroor, in it, right? Preposition and zamir, in it. So it's fa'il mutalik, same thing, verbal sentence, kullama is like a shart, and then these two sentences are the jawabi shart. So what they do, whenever it flashes for them, they walk in it. So that's conditional. Whenever it flashes, because otherwise what they do, they stand still. So look, the next verse will be wa iza azlama huwa alayhim qamu. So azlama again is a verb, and it is the first sigha, so the hidden pronoun is huwa. And iza, we know that it's a shart, and the jawab shart is azlama alayhim kamu, and alayhim is jar majroor, and kamu is another, that's the file. That's a verb and a file. So that's another small verbal sentence, because kamu is a small verbal sentence by itself, because it has the fail and it has the whom as the file.
Fine.
Is that making sense, guys? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, what is the meaning here? So, and when it darkens, azlama, over them or on them, alayhim is on them, they kamu, they stand still.
And
Kamu is qiyam se, kad kamati salat. Okay. And zulumat, remember zulumat is what? Darkness. Plural of darkness, right? So nuru was samawat or az-zulumat, right? So these are the things. So here, I'm sure if you read it on your own, this, because of our previous knowledge, I'm sure it is making sense to you, inshallah. Then next sentence is walau sha Allah. So walau is a conditional again, because law mean and if. Wow is the and law is same thing like in. Inshallah. What is inshallah? If Allah wills. Right? So law here is the same thing. It's also a conditional. So law sha Allah. And if Allah had willed. Sha Allah is what?
Allah will.
Inshallah. Law sha Allah is the same thing, correct? Is very similar to inshallah, right? And then what is it saying? Walau, from here is continuing from the previous. La zahaba. Indeed, he would have certainly. Tawqeed. There is a taqeed here because of this lam here in the front. And zahaba is the first sigha, right? So what is the hidden pronoun? Huwa. And bisima or bisamihim wa absarihim, their hearing and their eyesight. Jar majrur mudaf mudaf, right? Not because of the b is the preposition, and sima samihim is mudaf mudaf ilayh. Correct?
Yeah.
So mudaf mudaf ilayh will become the majrur, and the letter ba will be the jar. And then becomes a big verbal sentence. Again, here law is conditional, so is shart, jawab shart. So alhamdulillah, if we look at the pattern, alhamdulillah, we know all of these patterns by now, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. So since the time is almost there and we have Maghrib time, so I think the next verse is very self-explanatory. Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. So inna Allah is again ismu inna. Allah is jar majroor. Kulli shayin qadir is the khabar, and you can see this is khabru inna and this ismu inna. Alhamdulillah, we know this already. And look at the Allah is here, nasab. Right? Because inna gives his ism nasab.
Inna.
Right? So Allah is the mutalik and kulli shayin qadir is the khabar. Yes? So we have three things here. We have in Jumla Ismiya, we have the mubtada, we have the khabar, and we have the mutalik khabar. Anything other than the mubtada will become khabaru inna. So alhamdulillah, I feel that this is something we already know. Yes, Brother Fawad, you agree with me?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
So I will share these documents with you. And I think we covered a lot of material here. If you just simply do the review, I'm sure you will have a better understanding of it. Inshallah, have a nice weekend. And guys, one request only. I know that it's gonna get tougher, but we need to stick together and make the class every time because that is where our success lies, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, so Mondays, if the time has gone up by a few minutes, maybe we'll start at 8:30. I'll send you the message and then we will take it from there, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you. Jazakallah.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك.